Hello and welcome to Labor Lens. I am Sharon Ijason. On this week edition of the program, we'll be focusing on workers of former NNSL who are being verified by the federal government. We also have news stories for you. We will be right back.
Organized Labour has announced that they would embark on an indefinite nationwide strike on Monday, June 3rd. The president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero, disclosed these at a press briefing in Labour House, Abuja. He said the strike is due to the failure of the federal government to conclude negotiations on a new national minimum wage and reverse the hike in the electricity tariff.
The leadership should take charge and will take all actions to call government to order at the end of the expiration of the ultimatum. We are hereby declaring the commencement of a nationwide industrial action, a nationwide strike, effective from Monday, June 3rd, 2024. And this strike shall be indefinite. And this strike shall be on until we have a new national minimum wage, until government is serious and also the tariff increment in electricity is reversed.
And it's good we understand this. NLC, TVC are being prepared by affiliates. Every union, even while this action is on, takes care of its members. But what you are saying, when we get to the river, we'll cross it. We'll make sure we sustain all the people involved, to the best of our ability.
It's the 2024 Job and Employability Fair by the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA. The theme of the event is the green economy, the new frontier for job creation and employability.
Not just about you looking for a job. If you have a talent that you can, you have a talent that you can turn into producing business, making business, that you should bring it forth so that you can be helped to be able to push that as a business. So it's not just about white collar job. It is also about entrepreneurship. If you have skills, if you have what it takes to be able to start a business, then talk to somebody and you'll be helped.
I met with Esther Okwong, whose purpose at the job fair is to interact with employers and seek a job placement. She tells me her expectations have been met.
So far, it has been enlightening, and I've actually learned a lot, starting from the yesterday training and today training. I've been able to meet a lot of network with a lot of companies, get to learn new skills, and meet opportunities which I know I can grab at any time. I'm glad to be a partaker of this opportunity because it's a further step for me to know what is left for me in the future.
Other stakeholders stress the need for job seekers to upskill towards meeting current job requirements.
In ILO, there's what we call job anticipation. So we look at where the job will be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. So the mindset of these young people is that they should also be moving with the trend. Where will the job be? There's a lot of job in renewable energy. They should get some training in that. There is a lot of jobs in smart climate agriculture. There's a lot of job in retrofitting. And for ILO, we're also helping to train youth.
This Nigerian economy is the responsibility of all of us to put it straight. So we owe it to ourselves to see what we can do to bring up the next generation so that they can develop courage, they can develop hope, and they can see positivity and opportunities all around. If we point them to it, certainly they will see it.
The impact of ICT and the green energy, green economy in the theme of this year, that's really our target. We're hoping that we can achieve all of this, and we would be happy if all of this comes to fruition on account of the job fair that we're coming up with. By the way, I should mention that the job fair is scheduled for the 14th and the 15th of May. The 14th of May is a virtual session. This is the session at which participants, especially job seekers, can get value-adding interventions such as how to put together a good resume or CV, the kinds of things that you look out for if you were in a job interview, the opportunities areas that exist, depending on the focus that you have. So we're going to have facilitators taking participants through that. And then on the 15th is the fair proper, and this is where all of the sessions will come to bear, and we will have exhibitions by participating companies and sponsors as well. And that session will hold at the NECA offices in Lagos at Oba.
Esther Okong and many job seekers hope that there will be a healthy environment for businesses to thrive in the country. Sharon Jackson, TVC News. Verification of disengaged seafarers of the Nigerian National Shipping Line (NNSL) commenced in Lagos and other geopolitical zones in the country. At the venue in Lagos, I met Ayinla Liasu, who is one of the workers impacted by the liquidation of NNSL about 3 decades ago. Ayinla Liasu tells me that it has not been easy for him to survive after liquidation of the company. He and his colleagues are happy that the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration is ready to pay their benefits after about 3 decades of waiting.
And God will continue blessing him. Let him becomes mine. Let's see how most of the people are not living in the house. No, the people are there. Their wives, their children, they sleep about. Somebody who walk for see. See, I stayed company 5 or 6 years before the company liquidated in 1995. Okay, count for 1995 to now. It's okay. We are still running free. You don't know how many years. So God will help Brother Tinubu.
This was 1959 with your after 18 months, to 9 I started with them. So, Nigerian government, right?
No cry.
President General Adeyanju, who stood and did all he could that our pension comes out. And here we are today, verifying who is the beneficiary of this pension. So that's what we are doing, starting from today.
The President General of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria and other labor leaders spoke about efforts made to ensure that the disengaged workers receive their benefits.
We are here today for the screening exercise for the aged seafarers of the defunct National Shipping Line, who for over 20-something years the struggle has been on for them to be paid their entitlement. We want to thank Mr. President for his Renew Hope agenda, who had brought hope to this aged seafarer. So we are expecting that immediately after this screening that they will be given what they are entitled.
All the things that you use that they use in building Ajekuta, Steels and other places were carried by these people. These people would transport all of them from outside country. Some of the big investment that Nigeria have today that they are beating their chest for is for it was brought in by seafarers, and these people were not properly disengaged. That is what the union, the leadership of the union, Comrade Adewale Adeyanju, took it upon himself. He did not relent. He has to engage with the federal government until we get to this point.
Ayinla Liasu and other seafarers affected by the liquidation hope that payment of their benefits will be expedited as some of their colleagues have died.
So many things that the government can do to assist the masses, to make sure the masses get it right. One of the things as regards this electricity is to make our refineries functioning very well.
Workers have been pushed to the back end, that our patience as to government policies and programs has been overstretched. So therefore right now we have no place to go than to resist these economic policies.
On the profile interview segments this week, I'll be speaking with the President General of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, who also doubles as the Deputy President of the Nigerian Labour Congress. He brings us up to speed on how workers are faring in the labour sector, while also emphasizing on what the demands of the defunct NNSL workers are. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me on your program.
Congratulations on the successful verification exercise of the defunct staff of NNSL. Can you bring us up to speed on how the union was able to engage the government, how you were able to get to the verification exercise stage, and what will be your expectations from the government moving forward?
Well, I want to thank you and I want to appreciate you for the way and manner you have been carrying our promoting the image of Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria. I want to thank you and your team. Well, the defunct NNSL, it was a sad story in the minds of the family that are affected for almost 30 years ago, where a company that was liquidated and the court judgment was given that the pension and gratuity of the liquidated staff of NNSF should be paid. What they did was to pay them on the terminal benefits. What happened to their pensions for almost 28 years ago? And those are the questions people are asking. Why delay in payments? And there are parameters that you can use in working out their pensions in line with their discharge book. Because there's no way you're going to categorize them with say their permanent staff or whatever, because that discharge book have covered them for being a staff and a worker under the defunct NNSL. So coming on board, I think as the PG of the union, and I've been hearing the story over the years before I came in on board, and when I came in, I think I have to look at the file properly and make sure that there's need for us to push in for these aged old men that have contributed to seafaring in this country. So I think the story I'm hearing now is that yes, the government at the end of the day agreed that there's need for them to carry out physical verifications and for the next of kin as well. So that is the story for now. Because a government, if you don't listen to the people that have paid their dues in this country, who are they going to listen to? Because they have done their best. All seafarers, the way we tag them, they are floating prisoners. People that will abandon their family for 6 years, 6 months, 1 year on the sea. And when is the time for you to pay them their rights? Somebody somewhere here will tell you they are not entitled to this, they are not entitled to that. So I think the union we are doing our best to make sure that the rights of those retirees have been paid.
I want you to reiterate that the matter has been on ground for about 3 decades.
It's about 3 decades. What I'm saying is that 4 or 5 years, I was on top of it. We keep on talking to government, we keep on talking to all relevant stakeholders about this pension in line with the court judgment. That is what I mean. So the matter is almost 30 years that involve these poor workers. They are old enough to be my father. You can see the way some of them are working. They are not working like a human being any longer because the spirit, the soul have gone. And for all of us in government, we should equally remember what is affecting those old men can equally affect some of us if we don't do it right. Because the cane you use in caning me, at least on top of the roof for the junior ones, Yes, that is why we are appealing to them. They should not put the file, they should not carry the file. They should call us on time, otherwise the union will make noise again. Because we make noise for almost 4 or 5 years before they listen to us. Now they are carrying out verifications. There's need for them to call us on time because they want to know the figure. They want to know the amount to be paid to the retirees. So we're on top of the matter. If they felt there's need for them to put it under their carpet, they will see the reaction of the union.
During the verification exercise, I met with the sole survivor of MV River Gorara vessel, and he shared some of his experience with me. As the president of Maritime Workers Union, how would you react to this development?
Well, Alhaji Lawal was the only surviving seafarer on board MV Gorara. And for the man to stay alive, to witness the verification, you can see him when he was talking, he was crying because I happened to go to his house. I was in his house. I visited some of the retirees' houses to find out how they are faring. And if you look at their condition, it's so pathetic. So pathetic in the sense that people who contributed to the seafaring in this country, the floating prisoners that we call them, that they are, cannot be what? Be given their right at the right time. At 93 years of age, the man is still surviving and is still looking unto God, give me my rights. So it's uncalled for government not to have value to people that have paid their dues in this country. You can't try it in other countries. I've never seen where retirees in other African countries or overseas countries carry placards that their pensions and gratuity have not been paid. It can only happen in Nigeria, where we don't celebrate our old people that have done well for this country. The man that contributed to the Nigeria item, or what they call it, a flag or whatever, was it not at the age of 73 years that the government started recognizing him, talking less of people that have traveled worldwide? During the war, you see them there. While the war was going on, it was the seafarers that were able to be on the standby, carrying all these ammunitions, supporting the military. But at the end of the day, when they were being retired, their pensions were all denied. So if the likes of Alhaji Lawal can be the only surviving seafarers on board that River Gorara that was sunk, I think government should look inward and make sure that they expedite actions in paying these pensions to all of them.
Recently, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria commissions the Apapa-Tin Can Island Expressway. For a while, that road was something that was a case of worry for the union because it was difficult for workers to get to their workplace from their various locations. And for a long while, I'm aware that the union engaged with government. Can you bring us up to speed on how your members are responding to this development?
Well, we want to thank Mr. President for commissioning the road, and at the same time, this goes to the Minister of Works, a workaholic person who have brought in a joy into the mind and the faces of stakeholders within the rank and files of Nigeria Port Authority, the stakeholders in the maritime sectors. Well, we thank them, we appreciate them, and you know what you passed through years back when there was a story that you carry out about this road, where the road is not even arbitrary for people to pass. When you're coming from Festac, you spend almost 3 to 4 or 5 hours. But today, if I'm coming from my house, Festac get to my office, it's just about 10 or 15 minutes drive. Those are the things I'll be talking about. Yeah, there's one thing for you to commission a road. That's another thing for you to maintain that road. Because the way it is now, we've been clamoring, shouting, making noise about the truck taking over the roads. The trucks are not there now. The trucks are not there now. What you are seeing there now is human helmets. where they have turned the place to Market Square. So I want to use this method to to talk to management of Nigeria Port Authority, the local government within the Apapa to make sure that those selling on the road, what's their business selling on the road, anything can happen to them. It's about maintaining safety. So we thank them. We want them to continue to do more to make sure that all our roads leading to port operations have been okay. And I was in Onne about 3 weeks ago. I saw a lot of projects going on in Onne Port as well. I want to thank the Minister of Works for doing the right thing at the right time. If we have been having people like that in the hands of government, I think our road will be better for all users.
Unemployment in Nigeria, not only just in Nigeria, in Africa, globally, is a big issue. We are aware that the maritime sector is one sector that actually has the capacity to employ people. Can you bring us up to speed on areas in which you think government can actually look into in the sector to ensure that it is more viable?
Well, to me, the unemployment has to be attached to what is going on in this country today. There is marriage of inconvenience between Naira and dollars, where the dollars refuse to marry the Naira refuse to marry dollars. That is what is going on. And if you look at our sector, it's so peculiar in the sense that the moment there's love lost between the two of them, people will not import again. You go to Tin Can Island now, you see almost 2, 3, 4, 5 vessels for the past 3 or 4 months now. Some of the investors have run away, and it's affecting our sector where some terminal operators, some shipping companies have started reducing their workforce. So if the government can work where that marriage of convenience can happen between the Naira and dollar, I think the better for employment you are talking about. Is it not when I'm bringing a vessel into your country or giving you job, you talk of whether employment will come in? Because the vessels that are coming in now, some of them are coming with 300 to 400 TEU, unlike before when they normally come with 2,000, 3,000. So it has reduced drastically as a result of lack of money to import. And at the same time, look at what they are passing through. Electricity has been increased almost 500% increase in our electricity. And they have introduced what they call a band A, band B, band C. So I don't know where the country that's supposed to enjoy free access of electricity. Go to Cameroon here, where they won't give you their light. Go to Ghana here, where they won't give you their light. It's only we that are paying for light here as if we are not citizens. So to me, before employment can come, let the government look inward and make sure that this dollar and Naira, this will marry themselves properly so that they can sustain the economy proper. Because if the dollar continues the way it is, I do not think the sector, maritime sector, will continue losing our members in the house of unemployment.
Finally, it's a year that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was sworn into office. How would you rate the quality of life of an average Nigerian worker?
Well, average workers under the administration of 1 year of our Mr. President today cannot boast of 3 square meal on their table as a result of fuel removal subsidies or what they call it. But today, the way things are, we only congratulate him. We pray that he should do more and make sure that he brought life to Nigerians. To me, where we are today is not where we are about 3 or 4 years ago. Yes, government is a continuity, as they say, but the life that all of us are passing through is uncalled for. And you know, in Nigeria mentality, whatever that goes up doesn't come down in Nigeria except the aircraft. And sometimes even the aircraft too will normally have problems. But our own, the average people, marketers, have turned our economy to be their own too. They are capitalizing on the dollars. If you want to buy at Atarodo now, they will tell you dollars have increased. So what has that got to do with somebody selling pepper and is now attributing it to dollars issues. So I think Mr. President should look inward and make sure that they stabilize this economy proper, so that he started very well. I must commend him. I'm not being biased on this matter, because if they hand over government to you and you're in government, there's no how you're going to complain that all is not well. But what you need to do is to find solutions, and I think he has been trying his best to make sure that things are being all right. You can see the minimum wage from 40. They are negotiating as if we are pricing a crayfish market, where a bag of rice now is almost 70 or 80,000. An average Nigeria today cannot afford to even buy a bag of rice. They talk less of the 54 or 45,000 minimum wage. Where are we going? So those are the areas I think the Mr. President should look into. And some of the state governors too are not helping things either. Some of them for the past years, even when you are talking of 30,000 minimum wage, some cannot even afford to pay it. But they have this money. They are the ones sabotaging our collective agreement between the negotiator on behalf of the government and the NLC and TUC. So our own is to make sure that Mr. President should do the needful by way of stabilize this economy. We thank him for doing good, but let him do more. As an administrator himself, he has been a governor for Lagos State, he was a senator, but God has given him this opportunity to make sure that he puts smile into the face of Nigerians.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for calling me.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.